Romantic English Academy,
where love meets language.
Okay, I have a question, but you have to answer immediately, no thinking.
Not usually means you're about to say something you haven't thought through.
Rude and also completely accurate, but just answer.
I'm listening.
If you knew for absolutely certain that you would never achieve your biggest dream, like it's just never going to happen, would you still want it?
That is a genuinely uncomfortable question.
I know. That's why I asked it.
You're enjoying this, aren't you?
Immensely. Now answer.
You want the honest answer or the pretty one?
The honest one, always.
Some dreams, yes. Some, no. I think that's actually harder than I expected.
See, that's what I mean. We spend so much time chasing things, and then someone asks a simple question, and suddenly you're not sure.
I didn't say I'm not sure. I said it's difficult. There's a difference.
Okay, then, explain the difference.
All right. Some dreams are, I don't know, they feel like they're attached to something outside you. Like you want them because of what they say about you to other people. The title, the recognition, the admiration. And if nobody could see that, if nobody could clap for you or congratulate you, some of those dreams would just evaporate.
That's a bit brutal.
It's honest. You asked.
I did. Okay, keep going.
But other dreams, they're different. They feel like they belong to you, even if nobody ever knew. Like, I love translating, right? The actual work, sitting with a text, figuring out the right word, finding the rhythm in another language, that's satisfying even when nobody reads it, even when nobody claps. It's mine.
Huh. I don't think I've ever separated them like that.
Most people don't. That's why the question is uncomfortable, because it forces you to ask, why do I actually want this?
Okay, now I want to know what made you think of that question in the first place.
Honestly, I was scrolling through social media last night, terrible habit, and I saw someone I went to university with. She just launched this beautiful business. Everyone was posting congratulations, and she looked so happy. And for a moment, I thought, oh, I wish I had that.
That's normal, though. Everyone does that.
It is normal, but then I asked myself, do I actually want her business, or do I want people to respond to me the way they responded to her?
Ooh, yeah.
And I realized I don't actually want to run a business like that. I just wanted the version of it that exists on Instagram, the celebration, the beautiful photos, the comments, not the Tuesday.
The Tuesday?
The ordinary Tuesday, the daily grind, the invoices, the stress, the uncertainty, the boring parts nobody posts about.
Nobody puts Tuesday on their vision board.
Exactly. You have your dreams, your goals, your big ambitions. You picture the result, the award, the success, the fluency, the house, whatever it is. But most of the dream isn't the big moment. It's the normal days.
That's actually kind of terrifying.
Why?
Because I have a lot of dreams, and I'm starting to wonder how many of them I actually want on a Tuesday.
That's a useful question to ask yourself.
Okay, let's take something practical. I dream of being this successful photographer, right? Full-time, traveling, shooting amazing things. That's the vision.
That's the vision.
But the Tuesday version of that is what? Emailing clients, editing the same photo for 2 hours, carrying heavy equipment upstairs, getting rejected from jobs, spending 4 hours on a shoot and getting one usable image? That sounds like you've thought about this before. Maybe a little.
And does that mean you don't want it?
No, it doesn't. Because even the boring parts, the hard parts, there's something in it that still feels worth it. When I'm editing and it's frustrating, I still kind of love it, even when it's tedious. But I think there are other dreams where the Tuesday would just crush me.
That's an honest distinction, and I think that's what people often miss. They fall in love with the outcome, not the life that produces the outcome.
So how do you tell the difference? How do you know if you actually want the life or just the result?
You ask yourself the uncomfortable question.
Which one?
The one you started with. If nobody could see you succeed, would you still want it? And then you imagine the ordinary days, the real ones, and you check how you feel.
Okay, let's test something else then. What about learning English? Because I know people listening right now are probably thinking about their own goals.
That's a perfect example. Someone dreams of speaking English fluently. They picture the moment, ordering coffee without hesitating, giving a presentation confidently, having a deep conversation with a friend. That's the vision.
And the Tuesday?
The Tuesday is listening to a podcast for 20 minutes, even though you're tired. It's looking up the same word 3 times because you keep forgetting. It's saying something, making a mistake, and trying again. It's sitting with a sentence for 5 minutes until it feels right.
That's a lot less glamorous.
It's less glamorous, but it's real. And the people who actually achieve fluency, they've lived through hundreds of those Tuesdays.
I feel like we should pause here and actually ask the listener something.
Good idea.
Listeners, think about a goal you have right now. It could be learning English or something else. Career, fitness, a skill, anything. And ask yourself 2 questions.
First, if nobody could ever see you achieve this, would you still want it? Second, would you want the ordinary Tuesday that comes with it? The daily work, not just the celebration.
Don't force yourself to answer yes to both questions. If the answer is no, that's useful information. It doesn't mean you're lazy or wrong. It just means you might be chasing something that doesn't actually fit you.
And that's okay, right?
It's more than okay. It's valuable. Because the earlier you realize something isn't really yours, the earlier you can redirect your energy towards something that is.
Speaking of redirecting, can I share a confession?
Always.
A few years ago, I was absolutely convinced I was going to be a travel vlogger, full YouTube thing, beautiful shots, amazing locations, a growing audience. I spent months planning it.
Months?
Yes, I researched cameras, I watched tutorials, I made spreadsheets, I planned the first 15 videos in detail.
And then?
And then, I never actually filmed anything.
Ryan.
I know, I had made starting so complicated that preparation became the hobby. I was so focused on having the perfect setup that I never actually did the thing I was preparing for.
That's actually really common. People do that all the time with English too. They spend months looking for the perfect textbook, the perfect app, the perfect method, and all that time they could have just been practicing.
Exactly, and it took me a while to realize what was really happening.
What was happening?
I loved the idea of being a travel vlogger. I loved imagining people watching my videos, commenting, sharing. I loved the identity of it. But I didn't actually love filming. I didn't enjoy the process. I just liked the idea of the result.
That's the distinction again. And once I admitted that, it was actually a relief. I stopped feeling guilty about not starting. I just let it go.
And do you regret that, letting it go?
Not really. I mean, sometimes I think about what could have been, but I'm not heartbroken about it. It just wasn't mine.
What about now? What are you actually pursuing?
Photography, but not the vlogger version. Just being present with it. Taking photos because I want to capture something, not because I want people to watch me capture something. It's quieter. It's mine.
I love that.
Yeah, it's weirdly peaceful. But here's the thing. It took me a long time to figure out the difference, and I wasted a lot of energy on the wrong version.
But you figured it out. That's what matters. Some people never do.
So what about you? Have you ever chased something that wasn't really yours?
Oh, absolutely. I told you earlier about the person I saw on social media, but there's a bigger one.
Go on.
For a long time, I thought I was supposed to be a novelist. I thought I work with words, I love language, so obviously I should write a book. Everyone kept asking me when I was going to write one, and I kept saying someday.
Did you ever try?
I tried. I started 3 different novels, got about 50 pages into each one, and then I just stopped.
Why?
Because I didn't enjoy it. I liked the idea of having written a book. I liked people's reactions when I told them I was working on one. But the actual writing, the long hours, the lonely days, the struggle of building a story from nothing, I didn't love that. And I kept telling myself I should love it, that I was just being lazy or afraid.
Were you?
No, I just didn't want the Tuesday. I wanted the book on a shelf, but not the work that gets it there.
That's honest. That's really honest.
It took me a while to admit it, but once I did, I stopped forcing it, and I started focusing on translation, which I actually love. The Tuesday of translation, the research, the nuance, the problem solving, I genuinely enjoy that.
So the lesson is, don't keep chasing something just because you've already told everyone you're chasing it.
Exactly. Changing your mind isn't failure. It's information. It's you learning about yourself.
But what about when you really do want something and it's hard? How do you keep going through all the ordinary Tuesdays?
That's where commitment comes in. Commitment isn't waking up excited every day. It's showing up even when you're not excited. It's doing the work on a Tuesday.
But how do you know whether to push through or let go? Because I've heard people say, never give up, and I've also heard people say, know when to quit. They can't both be right.
They can, actually. It depends on what you're holding on to. There's a difference between a temporary setback and a long-term mismatch.
Okay, explain that.
A setback is when something goes wrong, but the goal still fits you. You're just delayed. You failed a test, but you still want to study that subject. You had a bad interview, but you still want that career. The Tuesday is hard, but it still feels right.
So the mismatch is...
The mismatch is when the goal doesn't fit you anymore, or maybe it never did. The Tuesday doesn't feel hard, it feels wrong. You're not struggling towards something meaningful, you're struggling towards something you don't actually want.
And how do you tell the difference?
You check how you feel about the ordinary days. Are they difficult but meaningful, or are they just draining?
That's actually practical.
It is, and I think that's why so many people stay stuck. They don't have a way to distinguish between a hard but worthwhile path and a path that's just not for them.
So we're back to the Tuesday question again.
We never really left it.
Okay, I want to try something with the listener. I want them to visualize something. Is that okay?
Go ahead.
Listeners, I want you to choose one dream or goal you're working toward. Just one. Now, picture it. Picture the big moment, the success, the achievement, whatever that looks like for you. Really imagine it.
Now, keep that image in your mind, but then zoom out. Imagine a random Tuesday in the middle of working toward that goal. Not the celebration, not the finish line, just a normal day.
What does that Tuesday look like? What are you actually doing? How does it feel? Not how you want it to feel. How does it actually feel in your body?
If that Tuesday feels wrong, not hard, but wrong, maybe that tells you something. Maybe you want the outcome, but not the life, and that's valuable to know.
But if the Tuesday feels hard but meaningful, like you're tired but it's still pulling you forward, that's a good sign. That's a sign that you're on the right path, even if it's difficult.
I think we need to say this clearly. You are allowed to change direction. You are allowed to let go of something you thought you wanted. That doesn't mean you failed. It means you learned.
It's funny, we talk about achieving our dreams like it's the only acceptable outcome, but maybe the process, the questioning, the exploring, even the changing is just as valuable.
I think it might be more valuable, because if you never question your dreams, how do you know they're really yours?
So what's the point then? If we might change direction, if we might discover something isn't for us, why pursue anything at all?
Because that's how you find out. You can't know if a dream fits you until you actually try it. You can't know if you want the Tuesday until you live some Tuesdays.
So you have to start, even if you might change your mind later.
Yes, because starting is how you learn. Starting is how you gather information, and you can only figure out what actually fits you by trying things and paying attention.
What about the people listening who are afraid to start, afraid to make a mistake or look foolish?
The worst mistake isn't starting and discovering it's not for you. The worst mistake is never starting and wondering forever.
That's true. I spent so much time in my head about that travel vlogger dream, and when I finally admitted it wasn't for me, I felt such relief. The wondering was worse than the letting go.
Wondering takes so much energy, and it gives you nothing back.
So what do you think we should say to our listeners right now? The ones who are working towards something, the ones who feel stuck.
I think we say, pay attention to your Tuesdays. The ordinary days tell you the truth. If you're working towards something and the ordinary work feels wrong, it's okay to ask yourself why, and it's okay to change your mind.
And if you're not working towards something yet because you're afraid or unsure, what then?
Then start small. You don't have to commit your whole life to something. Just try one small step. See how it feels. Gather information.
You don't need the whole plan. You just need the next step.
Exactly. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be real.
I've got one more question, a different one. Can I ask it?
You've been very restrained today, so yes.
Do you have a dream that you're still holding on to, like a genuine one, even after all this questioning?
I do, and I'm not going to tell you what it is.
Why not?
Because some dreams are too fragile to say out loud. Not because they're silly, because they're still forming. They need quiet to grow.
That's actually beautiful. Okay, I'll accept that.
But I'll tell you this much. The Tuesday of that dream, I want it. I genuinely want the ordinary, boring, daily version of it. And that's how I know it's real.
So you passed your own test.
I did, which is lucky. I'd hate to realize I was chasing something that wasn't mine.
And what about you, listeners? You don't have to say your dream out loud, but maybe just ask yourself, what does the Tuesday of your goal look like, and do you want it?
Take a moment. Just think about it. No pressure to have a perfect answer. Just notice what comes up.
You know, I think we should talk about one more thing before we wrap up. Progress.
Progress?
Yeah, because even when you're on the right path, it can feel like nothing is changing. You're doing the work, but you don't feel any different.
That's so common, especially with language learning. You study for weeks and you still make the same mistakes. It's frustrating.
Exactly. I remember when I was trying to learn guitar years ago. I practiced every day for a month and I was still terrible. I almost gave up.
But you didn't?
I didn't, and then one day, about 6 weeks in, I played something and it actually sounded like music. Not perfect, but recognizable. And I realized, oh, I've been improving this whole time. I just couldn't see it because I was too close to it.
That's exactly what happens with learning. You don't notice the progress day by day. It's like watching a plant grow. You don't see it moving, but over time, it changes completely.
So the lesson is, keep going, even when you can't see the improvement, because the improvement is happening.
And find ways to measure it, not obsessively, but occasionally. Maybe record yourself speaking English and listen back 3 months later, or go back to a lesson that used to feel difficult and see if it feels easier now.
Those little milestones are important. They give you evidence. They remind you that you're actually moving forward.
I think people underestimate how much they've already improved. They focus on what they still can't do and forget everything they've already learned.
So to our listeners, if you're learning English and it feels like you're not making progress, you are. You've learned more than you think. Don't let the gap between where you are and where you want to be erase everything you've already done.
That's a good note to end on.
Almost. I want to ask one more thing, a practical one.
Go ahead.
Earlier, we talked about taking one small step. I want to give the listener a concrete challenge, something they can actually do today.
I like that. What's the challenge?
Pick your goal, any goal, learning English, career, health, whatever, and then write down one thing you can do this week, not someday, this week, something small enough that you can actually do it.
And if you want, write it in the comments, in English, one sentence, something like, this week I'm going to practice speaking for 5 minutes every day, or this week I'm going to watch one English video without subtitles.
Imperfect English is welcome. Simple sentences are welcome. The goal isn't to impress anyone. It's to take a real step.
And then after you write it, maybe actually do it. That's the important part.
I feel like we should end with something hopeful. Not cheesy, just hopeful.
I can do that.
Go ahead.
I think dreams are important. They pull us forward. They give us something to work toward. But they're not the only thing. The ordinary days matter too. The quiet progress, the small steps, the moments when you realize you've grown a little bit more than you knew.
So dream big, and then find out if you actually want the Tuesday. And if you do, commit to it, one small step at a time.
And if you don't, change direction. Let it go. It's not failure, it's learning.
I think that's the most useful thing we've said all episode.
I agree. So listeners, here's what we hope you take away. Notice what you actually want. Notice the ordinary days. Pay attention to what feels right and what doesn't. And keep taking small steps towards what matters to you.
And if you're learning English, keep going. You're better than you were last month, and you'll be better next month too, even if you can't see it yet.
The progress is there. Trust it.
All right, that felt like a good place to stop. If you enjoyed this conversation, let us know in the comments. We love hearing from you.
And if you have a dream or a goal you're working toward, we'd love to hear about that too. One sentence in English. You can do it.
Thanks for spending this time with us. Keep learning, keep questioning, and don't forget to notice your Tuesdays.
Bye for now. Take care of yourselves.
Bye, everyone.
Let the language of connection bloom and fill your world with a softer hue. Romantic English Academy. Your elegant journey starts with you. Find your voice in every phrase. Unlock a world of brighter days. Romantic English Academy. Start your new story today.